Shabu bust that was reported in the news today. So let's move on with today's program because of the unexpected, or well, it's not unexpected. It was an announced press conference which affected our airtime. So now we will have to push back up to 10 o'clock this morning. Nonetheless, we will continue with our interviews. And this morning we start off with the Integrated Bar of the Philippines because of a decision that was made by the Supreme Court, which we believe would be of interest to the public and to lawyers at large, because the Supreme Court recently decided or responded to an appeal or a request or appeal of a lawyer, Larry Gadon, to inhibit or to issue a TRO with the National Telecommunications Commission. And the Supreme Court said filing cases in the Supreme Court is a serious affair. It should never be considered except when all the requisites of judicial review are present. Certainly, it should never be contemplated by one who admits not suffering any legal injury. Not only will the over-eagerness to file border on the contumacious, it also puts unnecessary peril, and it also puts in unnecessary peril the legal arguments of the person or entity that has an actual case. For those of you who don't know what contumacious is, it is to stubbornly or be willfully disobedient to authority. Attorney Cayosa, good morning sa inyo. Attorney, do you hear me? Okay, Gab, I think we have a slight technical problem there. Friday, for some strange reason, Friday is quite challenging when it comes to connectivity. Try again. Let's go. Attorney Domingo Cayosa, good morning po. Okay, I don't think the good attorney is connecting with us, but in any case, let's see if our technical team can fix that problem. But the reason we asked the president of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines to comment on this is because for the longest time, this, what they would call nuisance suits or parties that are not directly concerned to a particular case or issue would time and again go to the courts, in fact, go to the Supreme Court and file for TRO, for injunctions, etc. And the public generally reacts by saying, what is his connection with the issue? And this is what we're addressing here. When lawyers go to court on their own, when they're not involved in a particular case, and take up the time of the Supreme Court or any court for that matter, because time that you file for is time taken away from other people. So in any case, that was our intention there. Now, for the meantime, let's go to our next guest. We have with us General Manager of the National Housing Authority, June Escalada, to speak to us on two topics. GM Escalada, good morning po.
Good morning, Cito. Good morning to all of your listeners and viewers.
Okay, I have been monitoring you closely because you've obviously been given the responsibility, and I hope it's responsibility, not the headache, for the Balik Probinsya program. And of course, you are the General Manager of the National Housing Authority. And we here in Agenda, we are also closely monitoring the development of housing estates for the underprivileged. Katulad ng ginagawa ni Mayor Isko Moreno sa Tondo, yung condominiums niya, etc. Now, first of all, could you give us an update on the Balik Probinsya program, GM?
Right now, Zito, and to all of your viewers and listeners, right now, as we speak, There are already 80,000 that have enrolled to our website. That is balikprovincia.ph. In the profile, around 60% will be traveling alone and 60% will be traveling with families. And we also notice in our dashboard that the top five provinces are all provinces coming from or going to the Visayas. So
Mm.
this would mean the Leyte, Samar, Negros, Northern Samar. And the next lower five in the top 10 provinces mostly would comprise the provinces of Mindanao, Zito. So this tells us something that when we got another information from our enrollees, some 80,000 of them right now, most of them have been in Manila as residents of Metro Manila for the last 7 years in the case of Visayas. So that would only tell me or imply to me that this was the event, Tito, that Yolanda hit the Yolanda corridor from G1
Mm.
Samar all the way to Palawan. That was 2013. And the
Okay.
second five are all victims of of course, the insurgency of Mindanao. So that's the profile right now of our enrollees.
So in other words, nag-exodus sila during those two major events and went back to Manila. And now that there's a major event in Manila and an opportunity to get out, they're now doing a return of the comeback, so to speak.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with that kind of mindset because even for Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and Sibugay, this was also the time when, of course, Zamboanga was also badly hit by the insurgency 5 years or 6 years ago. So apparently, that is a kind of pattern that we see in the movement of people, particularly for Visayas and Mindanao.
Okay, GM, I don't know if you're aware, but we are also one of the ones who were pushing for this Balik Probinsya. In fact, the first time it was mentioned on the program, it was with Mayor Alfred Romualdez, who actually mentioned it on the air. Now, we've supported the program, but ever since it has been launched by Senator Bongo and yourself, there have been concerns raised. Kasi ang sabi ng mga tao, that's really good. That's really good that these people were able to go back to the provinces, etc. We're giving them, I think, 15,000 per person,
Yeah,
etc.
that's right.
Yeah, and but the question is, how sure are you that they're not going to come back again after the next major typhoon in the Visayas or the next outbreak of war in Mindanao?
In terms of being so certain, Zito, in not, for example, being able to hold them
Yeah.
when they go back to the province, I think that is practically where the new program will tell us. Because what we're saying is that the Balik Provincia, there is the second term, the Bagong Pag-asa. Because the Balik Provincia, as we speak, would literally mean transferring back to the province of your birth and where you're raised or educated, and you found another opportunity in Manila. But once we're able to fully develop and at the same time pour some investments to the regional urban, the rural centers will become an urban centers now as we envision it to become a balanced regional development. I think that kind of development, if people would experience that towards the end, will hold them. Aside from the fact that we from the council also do not adhere to contracts because there is one model that we're saying that we will tie up and bind our enrollees or beneficiary to a certain contract. We don't feel that the contracts will hold them, but the kind of development that we see 5 years, 7 years, 10 years down the line will be able to hold them naturally, meaning they themselves would take a fundamental option whether to stay or to leave given the circumstances. Right
And
now, yeah,
yeah, and the right to travel is constitutionally protected.
that's right. I
So
agree with that.
but having said that and recognizing those restrictions or limitations, do you even have case officers or monitors who will help these returnees or these people, balik probinsya people, to establish themselves, help them put up their businesses? Because I mean, I know we've only given them 15,000. We're not giving them 1.5 million. So parang we can't make a big deal out of it. But we also want the program to succeed. Uh, how do how do you even evaluate it? Is someone assigned to this?
Yeah. Thank you, Cito. Unang-una, I'd like to tell everyone that we have certain packages for individual traveling to the province, and we have a different package as well for families traveling to the province. So,
Hmm.
if I may share with that, the employment facilitation support is 5,000, and the capital seed fund, as you mentioned, would be 15,000 for individual traveling
Okay.
to the province. But if these are families traveling to the province, we will be providing up to 35,000 of transportation allowance, another 50,000 for livelihood employment assistance, and another transitory family support of 17,000. So more or less, aside from the amount that you've said early on, of course, this can be very dispensable amount at any given time. After a month or two, maubos din tong pera na to. But the thing is, we are in one agreement with the council that all of the participating departments, such as DTI,
Hmm.
DOLE, TESDA, DSWD, DPWH, initially will be able to bring forth our programs and services to help these people. Now, going back to your question, I'd like to trace back a little in the history. The very reason why somehow the original proposal of Balik Provincia relatively made it, relatively succeeded or relatively failed, because we saw one findings that, again, tama yung sinabi mo, I would agree. There was no mechanism at the regional level that will handle the regional project management and monitoring. So it was
Hmm.
a very top-heavy approach by government at the national level by identifying people who would want really to go to the province. But there is no mirror structure at the regional level. Three things I proposed to the council, which I recommended very loudly, the last recommendation. In the past, it was DSWD only.
Hmm.
Practically, that cannot be possible because this is one big of a huge project really that should be undertaken by the department or by government. Second, it cannot also be handled by the LGUs themselves.
Okay.
Simply because political dynamics also happen from governor and mayors, and the continuity and the sustainability of the program would also end upon the political taste of the local chief executives, both the mayors and the governors. But here is one that I proposed to the council, which all of us agreed. We know for the fact that RDCs are involved in local and regional planning and development. I was proposing very strongly that we will tap RDCs, the regional development councils, the local development councils, the city development councils will be the one responsible in the project management, project monitoring, because this can also mean generation after generation, administration after generation.
Does
We see
that
that.
mean, sorry, GM June, ano? Does that mean that the governor's office in particular is involved? Because I remember Governor Artiap, we will be having later after this interview, he commented at one time na hindi balik probinsya ang nangyayari, balik munisipyo because the provincial government is not part of the setup and the funds is not going to the through the provincial government, and it is not being aligned, matched, or coordinated in terms of projects, fundings, and organization.
That is just a matter of nomenclature, Sito, in terms of Balik Provincia, we mean the Balik Municipio. That's just a matter of labeling it. But the whole meaning really is regional development, regional balance. So
Mhm.
when we speak of regional balance, literally does not also mean province, neither municipality. It is practically looking at the regional potential and what are the regional opportunities that are awaiting for a certain province, city, or municipality. For
So,
example,
so
there's one model. There's one model I can speak
oh,
very proudly. We have what we call in Davao, the Davao Integrated Development Program. That is practically the regional development because it composes of 5 provincial governments, Davao del Sur, Davao del Norte, Davao Oriental, because development naman, Zito, wherever you go, is not also bounded by certain territories as well as jurisdictional authority. It can also exchange its opportunities as well. So there is no problem with labeling it as balik munisipyo, balik probinsya. The end game of the Executive Order 114 is to strike a balance between urban and rural development. I think that's right.
Okay. I leave it at that because I'm sure we can spend days discussing this project. But there is one topic I also want to bring up with you because you are National Housing Authority, and I'm just bothered this week or actually early this week, nagkasunog na naman dyan sa Addition Hills. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the sixth fire in like 3 years. And we're not talking small fires. We're talking 800 families at the time, 600 houses, etc. And dumadaan ako dyan eh. And I was wondering to myself, can't we not put up, condominiums like they're doing in San Juan now, they're doing in Tondo, para naman matapos na yan, hindi taon-taon dalawa ang sunog na nangyari. What is the situation with the NHA and housing for the poor? Because I mean, you and I, we have roofs over over our heads, but I think we really need to speak for those who have no voice regarding housing and shelter.
Thank you, Cito, for bringing that up. Actually, right now, the program of NHA is practically, in my capacity now, as the general manager of NHA, is also to provide the housing requirements for our ISFs, the most vulnerable sector. Because these are the people living in the danger zones, riversides, vulnerable areas of our country today, the slums. We have certain models already. We have the Valenzuela model, the Disciplina Village. We also have, as you've mentioned, San Juan. We attempted already early this year to construct the first ever 22-story socialized condominiums for our people in San Juan. And we also have housing projects in Quezon City. Now, the problem really right now within Metro Manila is the availability of land. So the availability of land can also mean a challenge to National Housing Authority because to get a 1,000 or 2,000 or even 1 hectare is also very expensive. That is why we put premium to these limited land resources that are available right now. In so far as land acquisition is concerned, Tito, we conducted an inventory. Inventory because most of these will be private lands and not our government lands. So we are now coordinating with our government lands, the idle lands of governments, that at one point they should be able to contribute that to housing requirements. We know for the fact that most of these have also been squatted already by our informal sector families.
Yeah.
So it is actually, I tell you, it is actually a political decision and a business decision. Case in point is the Basra. The Basra has more or less 800 families right now, and that is owned by both the DENR as well as the Department of Agriculture. So the point is whether or not our government agencies would be able to give up all of those lands in favor of NHA so that we shall be able to construct an on-site development. Because to me, an on-site development is the key to be able to provide housing for our ISFs. But that would mean a political decision on the part of government right now.
Alam mo, GM, siguro ako may pagka-diktador ako katulad ng presidente. My policy in life is if you don't use it, you lose it. And there's so many government lands that have not been used properly, even private lands that were never fenced properly, and then pag pinasok ng mga tao, biglang, hindi, kasi mga squatter yan, ganito, ganyan. And then, here's the problem. we cannot deny. We cannot. It's right in front of us. This you call it informal settlers. People call them squatters, but we cannot deny their families, their children, etc. But parang nothing is being done about it. I mean, in the last 15 years, I've heard of Addition Hills. Pero every year, I also hear of at least two fires. And my church, Victory Christian Fellowship, is always there. And it's frustrating. How difficult is it to go in there and just basically say, pwede ba tayuan na natin to ng dissenting mga housing projects?
Yeah, two things, Zito. The first one that I am doing right now, as far as my function is concerned, is I already did an inventory of all the government lands. Yung sinasabi mo, the idle lands, because the law is very clear. When these lands are not used for the last 10 years, that should revert back to government as a whole, and it will just a matter be of executing an order by the president to turn this to NHA, so that alam naman, we know for the fact that these lands, idle lands of governments right now, are fully habitated already. So fully
No.
habitated already, and therefore there has to be one way. I already forwarded my request to the executive secretary to approve the listing of all of these government lands not used for the last 10 years in Metro Manila. That's the first. The second is when the administration assumed into office, I proposed through the good Senator Bongo to come up with the National Housing Production Development and Financing Act. Would you know, Chito, what is the challenge of NHA every year? The challenge is we always battle with our funding. We propose for 30 billion, 50 billion, and we are only given 2 billion. That is why I was convincing the good senator that it would be better if we will have an automatic appropriations for housing. Why? Because people say about housing as a priority, but that is just a rhetorics, because the real intent is found in the budget. We know that. So we said that housing is a priority. Well, that can be a very good rhetorics, but the real intent is found in the budget. We need
Yeah.
That's right. We need 50 billion every year, but then again, we're only given 3 to 4 billion every year. So as we move along, the gap of housing increases, and we are not achieving anything at all because the funds that tells us the real intent is not actually provided.
Okay, bigyan kita ng tip, GM, and
Yes,
after I
yes.
give you the tip, we have to let you go. But I suppose it would be good if you also find out how much land area and how many billions the country has spent on basketball courts and
Yes.
multi-purpose
I
gyms.
like the
Para
tip. I like the tip.
ibigay mo sa amin sa media because this has got to stop. I think COVID-19 has exposed something. We can all live in nice houses, townhouses, and condominiums. But if there are 2 to 3 million people living in the squatters area who are all getting sick and spreading the diseases, our beautiful homes are not going to protect us. Either we take care of our own or we all suffer together. But in any case, GM, the program is open for you and your office, and please let us know if you've got other ideas, other problems, and we will pick up the fight for you. Maraming salamat po, GM.
Thank you for the tip, Chito. Thank you for the tip.
Okay, please stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy, and God bless you, GM June Escalada. Okay, after that, we will now go to our next guest. I understand, I don't know if she's there already. She's been a guest on Agenda before. Ana Pastrana, Mary Ann Pastrana, is the Executive Vice President of FastCat. Let me just check, okay. Okay, there we go. Good morning, Mary Ann Pastrana. We will now go to our next guest. I understand, I don't know if she's there already. She's been a guest on... Okay. Go ahead. Okay, good morning, Mary Ann. There you go. Okay, those are the complications of working from home, interviewing from home. Okay, Marianne, welcome back to Agenda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again, sir. Thank you.
And I wanted to get an update from you kasi pinag-uusapan ngayon yung mga airlines, yung pagbalik ng kanilang operation. Pero parang hindi nabibigyan ng atensyon yung mga ferries, yung mga inter-island ferry. And I know you are the newest, the youngest maybe, but one of the best inter-island ferries. And of course, I can say that kasi nasubukan na namin kayo.
Oh, sir.
Anong sitwasyon ngayon?
Well, we experienced the impact of the COVID with the reduced trips and cargo. We're carrying cargo only. So we didn't really stop during the pandemic. We're carrying cargoes. So our revenues are down by 85%. So 15% lang po nung dati naming revenue ang pumapasok ngayon. But we are continuously servicing the islands. And I was listening to your earlier broadcast about Balik Probinsya. In fact, sa Monday po, meron po kaming dadaling mga Balik Probinsya from Batangas to Antique by the initiative of Governor Cadiao of Antique and Congresswoman Lauren Legarda. So I guess what I'm saying is, yes, we were very much affected. Up to now, we are still feeling the impact, and we are also frontliners. Our people were working at the ports, in the vessels, since day one of the pandemic. My husband Chet po is in the office every day, leading the skeletal force that's managing the fleet. And of course, we had to deal with different rules of the local government units because it's different, no, in each case, in each region. But slowly now we are going back po. But there are some ports that are steady, that they have allowed trips. Of course, reduced nga lang, but some really closed down. So nandun po yung mga barko nakatigil. Of course, we have to have our crew there, but we're on anchorage. But slowly, they're opening up the borders of the different islands.
Okay, so slowly but surely they're opening up, pero mostly for cargo.
Yes, sir. Cargo lang
Okay.
po. Yeah.
Okay, now, are you getting any, is the industry, not just you, but the industry getting any actual financial assistance or lifesavers from the government? Because I remember from our interview, dinaan nyo lang sa lakas ng loob, tapang, yung pagpasok sa industriya na yan. I remember that, and that you actually had to borrow money from the DBP, and yung tiga-DBP pa nga yata ang nag-encourage sa inyo na to go into this business. How does that leave you with COVID-19 lockdowns? Paano na ngayon yung billion na utang nyo?
Yun nga po. Well, nung nagsimula po ito, we work closely with our banks. And the banks also naman are asking us, contacting us, what we're doing, what our plans are. So pretty much they freezed our amortization and interest. They were quick to coordinate with us on that. As an industry, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but we belong to this Interferrian Organization of Ferry Owners of the World. And somehow, we all got together, and then we came out with a statement, and we actually wrote government to say that, you know, we need help, either in helping us freeze the loans, freezing port charges, or some subsidy in the form of soft loans or low interest loans to pump in more funds in the industry. We did that, but wala pa na, we have not received any. But my husband was actively attending congressional hearings, Senate hearings on the subsidy po, yung budget stimulus packages. We have not gotten any, but we are pushing to make this happen for the continuity of our modernization and, of course, the connection of our islands.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is we really tried hard to keep afloat. Of course, we took care of our people first. We did some human resource strategies like rotation, and now we're
How many
furloughing. Yeah.
Yeah, how
Yes.
many people are we talking about for your company alone and for the industry of ferry boat operators?
Well, we're big, sir. We're an archipelagic nation, and definitely we're a big industry and capital intensive at that. No, so
Mm.
you were saying that there's big news in the aviation, and it's all over the headlines and all. But maritime, we don't get that attention. When in fact, if you look at the assets that are in the banking system for maritime, it's huge. It's in the billions. No,
Mhm.
so well for us, I will speak for us. Pre-COVID, sir, we have about 800 plus manpower, including security and our cleaners in the terminals and ports. We're looking at cutting it into half because of the reduced trips and, of course, not normal operations that we are having right now, and we don't see it normalizing in the next year and a half to two. So yeah, we're looking at cutting it into half,
But
but yeah.
what about GCQ? Because meron ng travel within the province. Meron ba kayong operations that you are allowed to carry passengers? Like let's say if you're sailing within the Mindoro area na pinapayagan kayo magsakay o talagang cargo lang?
Cargo lang po talaga, pero po napansin namin sa eastern side, which is in the Matnog and Samar, doon po medyo matao, and the government allows because that's a connection between Luzon and Visayas, right? That's the
Yeah.
gateway. So we saw more traffic on passengers there. So it's there, but the problem is the whole process to ride the vessel, no? So unless it's really, really necessary, you have to present all those health certificates and
Mm.
LGU certificates. So it's really hard. So even if you are a traveler, you think twice or thrice before you really cross the islands. It must really be important for you to cross because it's just too tedious to cross. No, so I guess we will not see normalcy, maybe not until the last quarter of the year.
Alam ko naman na Marian or Ana that ikaw matapang kang executive, yung mister mo masunuring executive. But how, up to how long can you guys hold out? Because, I remember when I interviewed you and I talked to your staff during our trip south. They were all very optimistic. Ay, sir, intay ka, in 2020, meron na kaming trip from Batangas to Palawan, meron na kaming trip papunta. You mentioned a trip to, I think, Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Now, you can't even put passengers. Up to how long can you go on doing this?
Well, sir, we choose to be positive. We just had our excom yesterday, and of course, my husband was leading it, and he was saying we must be thankful that at least we have cash flow coming in with the 15% of cargoes that are riding our ships. We
Mm.
remain optimistic that we can sustain this, doing what we're doing right now. As we speak, there were two ships that are ready for conduction to the Philippines, but we were not able to because of the lockdown. What we're seeing is right after the borders of China is open, then we will send our conduction team to pick up the two vessels, and we will have another two for delivery this year. What we did is we just reconfigured. Maybe we will not do some islands that are in the plan. We are now doing a zero-based planning, depending on the needs of the islands. But my husband said yesterday that we will probably reconfigure the positioning of our boats now to Tawi-Tawi, Basilan, where it is needed most, where we
Mhm.
can put our modern ships where there's already traffic. So to replace old boats and to just put in the ship that will service the islands more. So we're quite optimistic that we can do this with the help of government. We hope that we will be able to get some portion of the stimulus package to pump in the industry, and we just continue with our vision. It may be delayed, but we will continue with our vision because we feel this is what our country needs.
Okay, kasi nung sinabi mong zero-based, ano yun? Zero-based,
Budget, sir. Binura po namin lahat ng aming budget set for this year,
okay.
targets, plans, so
Oo.
zero base, and then we revised it.
Akala ko ang ibig sabihin, bahala na si Batman. Uh, but it's great to know that you have flexibility. You're quick to adjust, quick to respond. But I earnestly pray that when all of this is better, makaka-travel na, because I myself and my family really appreciate FastCat, and I
Thank you.
admire you and Chet, because
Thank you,
you
sir.
are real pros in what you do. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's Anna Pastrana representing FastCat, and we will go for a quick gap, and when we return, I don't know if we will still have a chance, but quick gap, and we will be right back. Okay, you're back here on Agenda, and up next we have a regular on the show who reacted yesterday when I used the word praning, referring to local government officials such as governors, mayors, barangay captains, who I believe have practically become paranoid or praning, because everything they do is being watched by the national government, and at the same time they are under pressure by their own constituents to do what they want, and not necessarily what is sensible. So Governor Artiap reacted yesterday na, oo, praning na kami, but please give us flexibility. Governor Artiap, I hope you're there already. Okay. We are, as I said, having problems with connections. I don't know what it is about Fridays, especially. I am told that Governor Artiap is connected, but his camera is turned off, and so we can't access him. We will try to please technical group try to figure out, because we are down to last 10-15 minutes. Okay, there we go. Governor Artiap, good morning.
Boss, good morning po. And
Okay.
to all our viewers, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Okay, I really loved your reaction yesterday, kasi sinabi mong, oo, praning na kaming mga LGU officials. And I was trying to convey na kawawa kayo. Kawawa kayong mga local
Yes,
government
sir.
officials, because if you don't do what the constituents do, they're angry. If you don't obey Malacanang, you are in trouble. Now,
Yes,
you
totoo
were
po yun. Totoo po yun.
sabi mo, bigyan kayo ng flexibility, o pabayaan kayong medyo dumiskarte, I suppose, no?
Yes, discarded.
Please explain that, Governor.
Like may rule kahapon, 2 days ago. No, actually, on our third day na ngayon, nag-issue yung LTO, LTFRB na ang gusto nila, ang mag-fly ng mga ruta dito, yung mga malalaking bus, sabi nila, because that's going to promote social distancing. Sabi namin, paano naman posible yung dito sa Bohol na ang mode of transportation dito sa Bohol, mga jeep, mga bihire, mga habal-habal, yung mga motorsiklo. Yun ang realidad eh. Tapos ang sagot nila sa amin, hindi naman totoo yan. Ang dami yung prangkisa na valid at saka buhay eh. It's here in our records. Yung sinasabi namin, nga, buhay nga yung prangkisa. Pero kahit na buhay yung prangkisa, ang dami din sa bus nila, mga hindi rin pwedeng mag-operate yan dahil luma na sila and they're violating the new rules na ang LTO at ang LTFRB rin, silang gumawa ng new rules last year, yung pag-shift sa different type of engine. So syempre, everybody is still shifting to the new engines. Maraming hindi pinayagan. Marami namang umutang rin doon at ngayon tinamaan dahil wala na kaming mga turista. So, you can see na ang naiiwan na lang talaga yung mga jeep at saka yung mga habal-habal. So sinabi namin, akala ba namin ang gusto ninyo is buksan na natin yung ekonomiya? So kung bubuksan natin yung ekonomiya, why is it that we are shutting down different modes of the different modes of transportation in Bohol? But hindi natin buksan lahat because if more transport operators are flying routes, and that means you're giving people more modes of transportation. Hindi tayo magbabanggaan sa social distancing. Hindi rin tayo mag-aagawan sa sakayan. Hindi rin linear kilometric lines ang mangyayari sa mga terminal. So, yun ang sinasabi kong, bigyan nyo kami ng diskarte. Because for each municipality or city or each province, iba-iba ang realities on the ground.
Now, what about itong mga nadinig mo naman yung mga na-interview ko kahapon and this morning tungkol dito sa mga ferry boats, tungkol dito sa mga airlines na namumroblema rin kasi isang probinsya, ito yung system, isang probinsya, iba ang system. You've been a national official, you've been Secretary of Agriculture, you've been a member of Congress, senador na lang ang hindi mo napasok. Anong masasabi mo? Anong masasabi mo na dapat nating gawin? Because I'm getting desperate. I'm trying to inject common sense into the thinking of decision makers.
Maybe yung sinasabi ni Secretary Puyat na magkakaroon tayo ng travel bubbles or travel corridors between, for example, Bohol and a place na we can choose na yung mababa rin yung infections dun sa area na yon at maganda rin yung preventive measures nila, yung minimum health standards nila. So at the top of my head, I was thinking of Taipei, because napakaganda ng record nila combating the COVID. So like ang Bohol, as of today, siguro mga dalawa lang ang positive namin. Dalawa lang ang positive infections namin. At mo sabihin na lang natin kahit na umabot kami ng 5, kahit na umabot ang Bohol ng 5, namamanage naman namin yung sitwasyon. Maybe allow us, like the province of Bohol and Taipei, to come up with a bilateral agreement in terms of health standards. And then we can also apply that locally for Bohol and other GCQ areas. Allow us to talk to our fellow chief executives and see if the prevention measures in that jurisdiction is okay with us, and then allow us to transact the business and the openings for the two jurisdictions. So dapat ganon, very open yung pagbibigyan na natin, diskarte na nga point to point na dapat ang pag-usapan natin rather than coming up with one rule that tries to fit all and it actually does not anyway. So yun ang suggestion ko sana.
So, ang feeling, so at the moment, kasi ang impression na sinasabi ng ibang mga tagapagsalita o ibang officials is that, hindi, may decision, may power to decide ang mga gobernador at ang mga mayor. Most of it is being cascaded to LGU. But I'm getting the impression that every move you make has to be coursed through the IATF.
Talagang, I'll be watching you. Ganun nga, Cito, yung nangyayari dito eh. Tingnan mo si Governor Gwen Garcia. Pareho yung situation namin ni Governor Gwen sa Cebu. So nagpalabas siya with the backing of all her congressmen in the entire province of Cebu. Binack up si Gwen. Meron siyang manifesto.
Ano ba yung request?
Hindi, yung request ni Gwen Garcia, pagbigyan na yung habal-habal, yung backrider. Kasi
Uh-huh.
tignan mo to, ito nangyari sa opisina ko sito. I have somebody working with me, mag-asawa sila sa bahay. Ngayon, they live in the same house, they eat on the same table, they sleep on the same bed at night. But when it's time to go to work, the husband cannot bring the wife to work. Hindi sila pwede mag-backride kasi violation daw ng social distancing. So how does that make sense? How does that make sense that you live in the same house, you're a member of the same family, and then pag-abot sa, dadaling ka lang sa trabaho, that employee of ours here in the provincial capital was hit 2 times in 2 areas, apprehended, 1,000 ang kada banat. So can you imagine, mabuti na lang on that day, may pera yung tao, kung hindi natin alam kung ano mangyayari doon sa taong yun. So yun ang sinasabi natin, konting diskarte naman. Yun ang hinihingi ni Gwen Garcia at ginawa niya sa Cebu. O ngayon, ang response sa kanya ngayon, she's being tasked, may show cause order ngayon si Gwen Garcia sa DILG. And, but at least, masaya ako na this afternoon at 1 o'clock, meron kaming virtual meeting kasama ni Secretary Anyo, kasama si Gwen Garcia, kasama ako and some other people to discuss things like this, allowing us a certain room or an elbow of flexibility in governance.
You know, I don't know if our national officials or the IATF are getting bad advice. And you have the experience, so you can validate or correct me. Kasi kanina sabi ni Secretary Anyo doon sa press conference with the President that even couples at home should observe social distancing. Parang I'm sorry, it just defies logic if not common sense. And I know Secretary Anyo, he's a reasonable, informed
Yes.
individual.
Totoo. Totoo
sabi
yan.
ko parang napapaandaran itong si Secretary or nabibigyan ng
Totoo yan.
misinformation. Now,
Totoo yan.
kindly-
I have found Secretary Anyo, Secretary Galvez, Secretary Vince Dizon as superiorly patient and hindi naman tong mga light people, no, academically they also know their stuff, they're very competent. And I don't understand when we listened to Secretary Anyo this morning, no, nagsalita siya, sabi niya na according to the DOH, so maybe they're also respecting, no, the turf and the expertise of each government agency that they are working with. But I think I will be bringing this up this afternoon. Kailangan kausapin yung DOH and to reason out with them. Where is the reason, the logic na magkakasama tayo sa bahay, pero pag lumabas tayo ng gate natin, hindi ko pwedeng dalhin yung asawa ko sa opisina niya. And that's the mode of transportation here in Bohol. Yun sana yung hihingin ko sa kanila today. Pero sa nangyari, I will delay it for this afternoon. Magpag-uusapan namin yan.
Yeah, because the president also said to addressing the request of Governor Gwen, pasensya na, but if I give exemption to one, I have to give exemption to all. Now, given that, lack of, kumbaga, nagbangga na, is there a possibility that the governors of the Philippines can come together with one suggestion? Kasi parang listening to you, I'm getting the impression that maybe IATF should not be a national authority, should be ikalat sa mga region.
Actually, dito sa Bohol, meron kaming Provincial Emergency Management Administration, which we have already folded into a Bohol IATF. Ginawa na nga namin Bohol IATF para congruent, harmonize yung mga procedure. Pero nakasulat rin kasi dito sa local government code na, of course, the local governments have flexibilities in terms of governance. Kaya nga, under the law, we are under the supervision but not under the direct control of Malacanang, under the national. So yun talaga yung, nasa batas ho yun. No matter how we look at it from any angle, we are under the direct supervision but not under the direct control. Kaya kung yun nga yung sitwasyon, with all due respect naman po sa IATF, sa national officials natin, and I must say this, Cito. I have to doff my hat to people like General Galvez and General Anyo na yung dalawang yan, kahit na alauna ng umaga, nagte-text ako, sumasagot yan dalawang yan. And I must
Mhm.
doff my hat. I must doff my hat to them. But yun na nga, baka napapaandaran. Kaya kailangan, maganda rin yung suggestion mo. Talagang dapat, let's have a leveling of an understanding na as we are trying to be congruent with national, kailangan merong diskarte yung mga local. Ibang sitwasyon sa Mindanao, for example, you're crossing through provinces. Yung isa may tama, yung isa wala. Papunta sa may tama. So paano yun? Alam naman natin yung terrain ng yung geography ng Mindanao, magkakatabi yung mga lalawigan. May buti pa yung Bohol, we are an island. Paano yung protocol doon? Are we going to solve all the problems, all their problems as well? Or we give them this discretion? Ibigay natin to sa tatlong governor yun, ng tatlong lalawigan to work out a protocol amongst themselves. What about Bohol when I'm ready to open up? Kunyari, naayos na lahat yung mga PCR laboratory namin dito. Can I be at least, sir, be given the flexibility to negotiate something bilateral with fellow GCQ provinces or multilaterally with a clustered group of provinces? Baka pwede naman kami pagbigyan. So these are the realities. And isang segue lang, Cito. Sorry kasi nanonood
go
ako
ahead.
sa programa mo kanina yung sa issue ng balik probinsya.
Yeah.
Yung concern nyo na kukuha sila ng 15,000 for example, tapos baka bumalik na naman, di ba? That's a very real, pwedeng mangyari yan, Cito. Kaya nga, ang sinasabi ko nga, another discarte move dapat sa mga gobernador. Isama yung mga gobernador sa planning. Kasi right now, yung consultation, alam mo yung governors kasi, Cito, they have a chance, they can scale up the programs eh. Kung ang kausap natin, maliliit na LGUs, they will not be able to scale up the program for the entire province. Kaya kung pwede sana, pauuwiin natin sila, let's talk to the governors and see, how are you going to keep them there? Kasi if we cannot keep them here, babalik na naman yan sa syudad. And right now, yung tubig lang nga eh. Out of 1,109 barangays ng Bohol, I've been able to track na 300 to 400 barangays, walang tubig. Paano mo pauuwiin yung mga tao? Sasabihin nila sa atin, kukunin nila yung 15,000, magbabakasyon dito, and then babalik sa syudad yun. Kasi wala naman silang magagawa dito, wala nga tubig eh. But when you've got water, you've got basic agricultural activity in the area. Dahil sa probinsya, kung may tubig, ang tao hindi yan nagtatamad. Talaga, kasi alam niya, wala siyang kakainin eh. But in 21 days, may pechay siya. In 1 month, meron siyang lechugas. Meron rin siyang okra in the succeeding month kung magbanat buto siya. Paano siya magbabanat buto? Gusto naman niya pero walang tubig. Kaya nga, allow us the diskarte. Challenge the governors. Balik probinsya tayo. Ito yung pondo na tulong na gusto nyo. And ang pondo ang hinihingi ko, Cito, hindi ko na nga hinihingi na magbigay ng national funds dito eh. May mga credit line kami sa Land Bank, sa DBP. This is ERA back. This is technically sovereign guaranteed na yung mga pondo namin eh. Why don't you lend that to us at 1% interest or 0.5% interest? And then, i-develop natin yung mga barangay needs para yung balik probinsya program can be successful. These are some of the discarte moves na kailangan natin.
Well, I will definitely be waiting and watching kung anong mapapag-usapan nyo mamaya ni Governor Gwen, ni Secretary Anyo. And favor na lang, Gov Art, pakibanggit na rin kay Secretary Anyo kasi yung mga viewers natin medyo nagte-text sa akin lagi ngayon. Marami raw mga local government like Alfonso Cavite, yung province of Quezon, GCQ na, hindi ka na dapat hahanapin ng travel pass within, hinahanapan pa rin at nagiging issue of fear and harassment.
Yes,
Patulong na lang. Thank you very much, Governor
yes, sir.
Art.
We'll do
And
so. Thank you.
open kami, please let us know.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay,
Salamat
please
po.
stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy. That's Governor Art Yap of the province of Bohol. Mamaya magkakaroon ng mataimtim na pag-uusap diyan po sa Zoom conference. Now, let's go back to our original first guest, President of the IBP, Domingo Cayosa. Just for a clarification tungkol doon sa naging desisyon ng Supreme Court. Attorney Cayosa, are you there already? Okay. I am not getting okay. Unfortunately, we can't seem to connect talaga with Attorney Cayosa, but nonetheless, siguro kailangan, attorney, magpakabit ka ng PLDT fiber internet para sigurado tayo dahil lahat ng kaibigan ko nagpakabit. Ayos na po. Anyway, I just want to take this time to thank all of our viewers who've been watching Agenda. And for those of you na nakikiusap or nagsasuggest na Tagalogin na lang namin ang programa, pipilitin ko po kanya lang, the original concept of Agenda is actually an English language program. And in fact, medyo naiba na nga kasi talagang dapat dito bakbakan. Pero hindi natin style yung bakbakan. We want to understand, we need to get information. But in any case, thank you for watching us. And pipilitin po natin na from time to time mag-Tagalog. And dun po sa inyo na nagsabing ipagdadasal nyo kami, those of you who said you would pray for us, we really appreciate it. The crew, the team, myself, because in this trying times, sometimes we have to push things that may seem unpleasant, but needs to be done. And some people sometimes kind of get, annoyed or feel offended na Cito naman, ang diin naman ang tanong mo. But unfortunately, questions have to be asked and certain points of view have to be pushed. Thank you very much for joining us today. And once again, please take care of yourselves, especially over the weekend. Enjoy your projects if you have any. And please take time to reflect, as I have been. And I have been reading quite a lot on the Bible. And I hope you would do so. Thank you very much. I'm Cito Beltran, and that's today's agenda.